President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the UN, on the Secretary General and Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Mr. Carlos Pace, it's my pleasure to welcome you all here today to this 9th session of the Committee on Sustainable Development. My role here is essentially to give you an insight into the work that underpins the Special Initiative Division, to guide you into the rationale with regard to the work that we're doing, and to give you some insights in terms of how this work has been implemented. The main objectives of the committee are threefold, I'd say. The first one is a review and guidance objective. And so what we expect from you is review and to provide guidance for the ECA sub-program. This is a sub-program of innovations, technologies, and management of natural resources. The second objective is really for you to share your thoughts with us on the implementation of the 2014-2015 work program and the priorities for the sub-program for 2016 and 2017 in the context of the strategic framework and proposed program areas for 2016-2017 buy-in. And thirdly, we would like also to provide you with a platform for the 2015 Africa Regional Forum on Sustainable Development and for the high-level political forum on sustainable development. Mr. Chair, following the Committee for Food Security and Sustainable Development, the ECA found it necessary to review its strategic orientations. And it was also important for ECA to align its programmatic activities to Africa's structural agenda. And to that effect, the ECA carried out a comprehensive internal review of its mandate and its program of work, as well as its priorities. The Commission also conducted a wide range of consultations with member states and other stakeholders. And this was really in an attempt to gauge the rationale and the pertinence of this work. And it came up with a structural framework that is aligned with the goals and objectives of Africa's transformational agenda. So the issue of transformational agenda was at the very heart of ECA's structural reforms. And from these consultations, it became very clear that focus on innovation and appropriate technologies, access, plus rational use of natural resources are key conduits in terms of enabling and reducing climate change impacts, but also these are very critical for Africa's transformational development. So the new strategic orientation placed a lot of emphasis on innovation, appropriate technologies, access, natural resources, as well as climate change. And so to implement this new strategy, a division was created that's called Special Initiative Division. Very often people tend to ask, what is so special about Special Initiative Division? But it's essentially a division that is looking at the mega trends. And it's essentially a division that is a natural resource management division. But it's a division also that looks at science as the foundation and the cornerstone of much of Africa's transformation. So essentially there are about three, I would say, key thematic areas. The first one is the research, policy development, and analytical work. The research, policy, and analytical work is supposed to support member states in promoting the use of social, economic, and environmental innovations, as well as technological systems. The idea being that these are necessary to enhance Africa's economic growth. Secondly, another important area of work is research, as well as analytical work, which is always a staple, on mineral resources and development in the context of the Africa mining vision. And thirdly, it realizes that for Africa to arrive at a structural transformation, it has to transition out of 30 technologies to greener technologies. And therefore, this transition, especially in terms of the quality of the transition, is also very important. And so another key area of the work is about helping African countries in their efforts to realize an inclusive, green, and transformational development. Fourthly, I forgot the fourth point, the area of work that we also concentrated on is one where we want to be able to help member states, assist member states in meeting the challenges of the effects of climate change in key sectors. I think the chairperson has mentioned climate change, which is a defining problem for humanity. And this is an area of work where Africa, being the region that has the least capacity in addressing the impacts of climate change, the purpose of this work is to see how ECA can support member states and put in place appropriate planning practices, mechanisms that would reflect national development priorities, policies, strategies, and programs. So the revised strategic orientation and structure were presented and endorsed by the 6th joint annual meetings of the African Union Conference of Ministers of Economy, Finance, and the Economic Commission for Africa conference. This is a conference that we hold every year, but this was endorsed at the conference in Abidjan in March 2013. Mr. Chair, this year represents an important milestone for the World Development Agenda and Governance Framework. It is this year when the new climate change agreement is expected to be signed, and the new sustainable development goals that would determine the global development orientation will be agreed on. So this is going to be a very critical year because we are going to be looking at a successor treaty to Kyoto, and we are going to be defining the post-2015 development agenda and goals that would succeed the MDGs. So today we will present to you what we have been doing in implementing the sub-program on innovations, technologies, and natural resource management since the inception of this division in 2013. And we hope that this report will give you a very clear understanding and appreciation of the rationale of the sub-program. And we hope also that you'll be able to give us some insights in terms of potential gaps that we have not factored into our programming. To maintain Africa's growth trajectory and to ensure the desired economic transformation, this will require appropriate technologies. And these technologies will have to be taken into consideration as we're talking about climate change. So in other words, the more climate change gets more and more important, more and more substantive, the more we will be able to have to look towards technologies to be able to see how we can limit the possible damages. Mr. Chair, in addition to the deliberation on statutory and programmatic matters related to ECA sub-programming on innovations, technology, and the management of natural resources, the 9th Session Committee on Sustainable Development is expected to provide a clear understanding of Africa's priorities and key messages for the high-level political forum on sustainable development, which would follow this sitting. The high-level political forum on sustainable development will also dwell on strengthening integration, implementation, and review the roles of sustainable development bodies after 2015. It would also consider emerging issues focusing on science, policy interface, sustainable consumption and production, and small island developing states and other countries in special situations. In conclusion, Mr. Chair, I would like to thank the CSD Aid Bureau and the whole Committee on Sustainable Development for your guidance and also to thank all our partners for their unwavering support and all their efforts in contributing to Africa's transformational agenda and most successful, and wishing you all a most successful and productive
deliberations. Thank you very much.